spiritual life hack, always walk around with a staff. When you hold a staff, it connects you to the earth without taking your shoes off. It's basically grounding without needing to take your shoes off. It grounds your energy and it charges you up from the earth.
This is a mudra. Mudras are gestures that you can utilize to command and evoke energies within your auric field. The horns, utilized by the ancients to denote power and prestige, have been used for a century to blind the evil eye of those who haven't been awakened, and can also be used as a greeting for those who are. Yes, the triangle, Vesica Pisces, creation portal is what it is. All of the energy that comes through these portals is very malleable and it's easily to transmute into the desires of the hearts of the awakened ones. And lastly, let's do this one, which has been accused of being used for white supremacy or demonic worship for some time. But this creates a shield around your aura, and all of the etheric energy that's around you can be easily funneled into your being to create the life that you desire. I hope this helped. Wholeness, infinite waters flowing through you.
One thing I will never understand here, how people keep on telling me how I'm privileged and here and there and this and that. All because I have family. Guys, let me explain to you how Italian culture works, which is one thing that I don't know why in America they don't teach you. And this is probably why you have one of the highest depression rates and solitude rates in the world. Guys, in Italy we have something that we call societal welfare, social welfare, aka every single person has a network of people that helps each other out on different levels. You have psychological problems, you always have somebody to talk to. Family helps each other. Family raises you, but then you take care of them. So a perfect example I can give to you, in Italy we take care of the elders all the way to the end. We take care of them in our houses. You guys push them in a retirement home. That is the saddest thing in the world. You call it privilege because your society taught you about individualism. Probably because your society wants to control you. Because there's one way you control people is to keep them isolated. One by one, alone, let them see some kind of information, let me dogmatize them and let me control them. What you call privilege in Italy is normality. If your society is messed up, it's not my fault. Before criticizing on the foundation of Italian society, which is the societal caution, look at your own, where you incentivize single families. There are literally tax incentives for single parents, as if society wants you to separate. Guys, the only way for you to come out and to break a vicious cycle is to create a community around you that you can lift up with you. Ever wonder why some of the richest cultures in the world act exactly this way? You know exactly what I'm talking about. But in some cultures, when one person makes money, another 20 made money with him or with her. These kinds of cultures have been running for centuries, even millennia. But somehow, some marketing genius convinced you that everything you do here has to be alone. Which on one side is beautiful. Individualism and personal growth and everything is a beautiful thing. But also knowing that you can rely on a substrate of people that create this cushion for an entire community is a beautiful thing. Combine the two and you can create something magnificent. And this is not privilege, this is common sense, guys. Read some history, understand, look at people, look at society, look at the problems, look at better societies, look at the general happiness in other cultures, look at why they're happier, and then understand. But before commenting on a single person as privileged because of something that is embedded in his culture, because what I just described is embedded in Italian culture as well as Spanish and many other Mediterranean cultures. Look within and figure out your own society. Ciao.
Nobody talks about how you can accidentally manifest staying stuck. I did this for so long and I kept repeating this phrase to myself that just felt like I was describing my situation and just like regularly talking to people. Little did I know I was kind of like signaling to my brain and programming my brain to stay stuck. What I used to say all the time is, well, I just don't know what to do with my life. I don't have clear direction. I'm just not sure what I want to do. I like everything, so like I can't like commit to one thing. And on the surface, it feels like that statement or that sentiment is harmless, but it signals to your brain like, okay, like we're not gonna like really tie into anything in particular. Like we're not gonna commit. We don't know our passion. We don't know our purpose in life. So we're just gonna carry on the way things are. We'll just figure it out when we figure it out. Instead, you need to give direction. You need to affirm that I know who I am and I know what I want. And if you feel like you don't, know that you actually do, but until you recognize that, just keep affirming that you do. Your brain will start to look for signals in your life that point to your purpose, because now it knows to recognize that instead of recognizing proof that you don't know what you're doing. I hope that helps you. It really has changed my outlook on life a lot, and it's not necessarily negative self-talk, so it's not as easy to identify, I feel like, but it is very important to be aware of the way that you think about yourself and talk about yourself, and just affirming that you know what you're doing can make you feel less lost.
I feel like this needs to be talked about because I haven't heard anybody speak out on it. I don't know if y'all remember, but a while back, a white woman made a TikTok and she had her daughter. Her daughter was full-blown white, and she was basically on TikTok kind of victimizing herself and trying to make us feel sorry for her. Basically talking about how her daughter's sad because her daughter can't get braids like the brown girls, and how she wants braids, but she tried to explain to her daughter that she can't get those because it's not really good for her hair, and it's made for brown girls because of their hair texture. And one of the things that kind of made me mad was that it was black women and black people in the comments talking about oh, I'll do that baby's hair. I'll do that baby's hair for her. What? And I see it all the time. Like, I see it all the time. And my thing is that if a little black girl was to come to you and tell you that she didn't like her hair and that she wanted her hair to be like the little white girls, she wants to dye it blonde and she wants to perm it and have it straight all the time, y'all would not come with the same energy. It wouldn't be like, oh, I'll do that baby's hair. I'll dye that baby's hair for you. No. The little girl would have probably got slapped in her mouth and told that she needs to love her black beauty, that she needs to love herself and appreciate the way she is. But as soon as it comes to white people, especially white women and white little girls, black women have a different type of love for them or a different type of privilege for them. And I've noticed that. My thing is that the same black women that were in her comments, if they saw a video of a little black girl telling her mama that she wanted her hair to be like the white girls at her school and she wanted it to be blonde and straight, they would not be in the comments telling their mama, oh, let that little girl get her hair dyed. Let her straighten her hair. Let her perm her hair. No. Y'all be in the comments criticizing the mom, telling the mom not to let her dye her hair or straighten her hair because she needs to learn how to love herself. So why can't y'all say the same thing to those little white kids? Why can't they love themselves? Why can't they love their naturally straight blonde hair? Why can't they love their texture of hair? But you see what I mean? And black people specifically are so quick, like we're so quick to holler out, oh, white women are so victimized and they want to get everything they want. But y'all don't realize that y'all are a part of allowing them to victimize themselves because y'all support it, but y'all don't know it. Y'all are influencing their chance to victimize themselves and y'all don't even know it. The same thing with another video of a white woman talking about how she went in a black hair store and she was in her car twiddling with her fingers like she's a toddler, talking about she went up to a black worker there and asked where she could find some weave and a bonnet, and a black worker told her to take her cracker A-word to the other side of the store. I saw right through that. And then it was black people in the comments talking about, oh, that's not right. You should be able to go in there and get what you need, get what you want. That's not right. That's reverse racism. Like, how are y'all not seeing through this BS? Like, they trying to play victim so bad. And I'm not saying that experience didn't happen to her. But come on now. Be for real. Be for real. And I'm not saying it's okay for white people to get bullied or get made fun of, but y'all are so quick to jump in their defense over everything. They don't need defending all the time. But it's annoying how y'all do little white girls versus little black girls. Yeah, I peeped it.
But how do we overcome the cravings of addictive soft food drinks? You do a parasite cleanse, because majority of the cravings that you guys have is not you having it. You know, a lot of you guys are walking around pregnant. The same way when a goddess get pregnant and she has, you know, a whole nother being in her womb and she start craving for things that she never craved for. It's the same thing with you guys. You got a bunch of tapeworms, you know, poke worms, parasites in your belly that is literally craving for the garbage, which is what created it in the first place. You are not born with parasites. When you eating garbage, your body create the parasites to defend itself, the tapeworms. And when you do a parasite cleanse and you get rid of the worms and all that, you will start to notice that a lot of the cravings go away. So basically, there's people walking around eating for 200. You got a bunch of mini worms. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 big worms inside of your body that are craving. You know, they eat, they poop, they burp, they pass gas inside of your body, and everything that they do, you know, do something to you. When they pass gas, that chemical that they release can put you in a depressive state. It can affect you mentally and emotionally and spiritually, because your mind, your body, and your spirit are working simultaneously together. So that is why you're craving a lot and you're addicted to a lot of things, because you literally have, an addict inside your stomach. The only thing it wants is garbage, and you're gonna continue to crave garbage until you get rid of the being that lives on garbage. So for you to get rid of the being that lives on garbage, you have to starve the being, and then you feed it the stuff, that kills it, like the real herb, like the wormwood that's in this tea, like the black walnut, like the mugwort, like the yarrow root, like papaya seeds, like cayenne pepper, like cloves, and a spoonful of castor oil. You take all those things and you put them together, and you consume it, while on a healthy stomach, while on a clean stomach, preferably on an empty stomach. And you do that for a good amount of days, and you might notice, some little creatures pop locking out your booty, or out your mouth, or out your ears, or out your eyes, or out of you in whatever way, shape, or form they choose to escape, because they feel like the place where they at, they're not getting treated and they're not getting fed. So now they see that they're dying, they're trying to escape. It's either that or they die inside of you. And when you poop, and if you look down, you might notice stuff that don't look like, the poop that you normally see. So, start consuming life and you'll get rid of death. You want to get rid of death? Don't consume death. Don't feed it.
Letting go or detaching from a specific outcome that you want becomes easy when you recognize that everything you want is just an excuse for an emotion that you want to feel, and you don't really know what you're going to feel when that circumstance comes into your life. Sure, you'll probably feel better, but that's the whole point. You just want to feel better. So it's nice to have an intention for something specific. It's nice to have a vision for a specific outcome that you want, but recognize that the emotion that you think is going to be produced by that experience is really all that you're after. And there's all these guiding forces that are working with you. So metaphorically, if you were to see a car and say, I want that car, but you don't realize there's not an engine in that car, these guiding forces recognize that what you really are saying is, I want to drive. Right? So now you're hell-bent on this specific car that you don't realize doesn't have an engine, and you're being nudged in all these other directions by the guiding forces, but you're resisting it, right? So once again, it's nice to just understand that what you're seeking is that emotion. When you make that emotion the goal, all kinds of things can come into your life to manifest that bring you more of that emotion. And it doesn't have to be that very specific thing, but it very well can be. Just realize that you don't need to insist on that specific outcome.
I just love learning about really biological ways our bodies are built for community, and not just like hands are so obviously meant to hold each other. But I was listening to this interview with Benjamin Perry, and he says that emotional tears have a higher protein concentration than irritant tears, which makes them fall down your cheeks more slowly. And that increases the likelihood that they'll be seen, that they'll solicit care, and I think that's so sweet.